Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for joining us again on one of our webinars where we're introducing two new companies to you for that you can possibly invest in. One of the things I'd want to do is to explain to you a couple of things about Spark and what we do. Some of you may be new to Spark and want to know a little bit about us. So we have been in existence now for 5 years and have raised money for over 46 campaigns, which we are delighted about. We have over 12,000 investors on our database now, and obviously they are contributing to each of the campaigns that we put up in front of you. As of just at the end of last year, we became authorized by the Central Bank of Ireland, and now we are a regulated entity, which we're delighted about as well. And we have a number of elements that you might be interested in kind of joining as well. One of which is called the EIS Private Portfolio, which is a kind of a club that we have put together for people who want to have a broad portfolio of companies to invest in, each of them having this tax incentive called EIS, which we're very happy to kind of offer to all of the investors who want to invest in those type of businesses. So if you are interested in that, where you can get a 50% up to a 50% tax rebate on those investments, we'd be delighted to talk to you. And if you contact the Spark email address, we'll be delighted to kind of explain a little bit more about that. But anyway, enough about those. We are wanting to introduce you to the two companies that we've got on today. And the first one, of course, is WhyBuy. So, Jamie, are you there? Can you switch on your camera, please? Thank you very much.
I'm
This
here.
is Jamie Conway, who is the founder and CEO of WhyBuy. WhyBuy is a direct-to-consumer business. We all have them. These are items in our sheds and in our garages that we use just very infrequently, once a year. And WhyBuy has developed a platform that can eliminate these expensive items, so we don't actually have to buy them. So as I said, it's not a peer-to-peer lending platform where one person will lend to another. This is a direct-to-consumer, which Jamie will explain to you in a bit more detail in a second. The platform is live and will be expanding to other sites across the UK as time goes on, and it's approved for SEIS and EIS, which are the UK equivalents to the SEIS. The EIS tax rebate that I was referring to just a second ago. So if you have tax exposure in the UK, then you can avail of these SEIS and EIS tax benefits. But anyway, enough of that for the moment. Jamie, if you'd like to share your screen, you can get on with the presentation, and we will see you for a question and answer in a short while. On that question and answer, guys, if anybody does have a question, please put it into the Q&A, not the chat, so that we can actually kind of look at them and easily get Jamie to answer those questions. So, Jamie, over to you, and I'll see you in a few minutes.
Thank you very much, Chris, and good afternoon to you all. Thank you for your time today. I suppose I'd just like to start with a very simple question, as all good presentations should, and that is, how much stuff do you own at home that you rarely use? So how many items can you think of right now off the top of your head, under the stairs, on top of a wardrobe, or in the garage, and you secretly regret ever having to buy them in the first place? It's environmentally unfriendly. It's expensive, certainly, and it takes up a lot of space. Years ago, many of you will remember when we all had massive CD and DVD collections, and then Spotify and Netflix came along and said, we will give you more choice, we will give you better quality, and we will do this while costing you less money on a monthly basis. And that's essentially what we're doing in WhyBuy. What we do is our platform allows people to access the items that they want for the lengths of time they want without complicated contracts. So there are hassle costs involved in owning things. There's the actual purchase cost, and then there's the storage cost. Imagine getting rid of all the clutter in your attic or the garden shed, but still getting higher quality products and saving money. So the platform is fully developed and works. I'm going to show you. It might be slightly slow due to the nature of streaming on Zoom, but essentially, if any of you have ever used one of the food delivery apps, you've used a platform very similar to ours. So the app is designed beautifully by the team here in Dublin in Zoo Digital, and it's working perfectly and is already being deployed to customers. The design is premium because that reflects our own values, and the browsing experience is actually really instinctive. So people can go in and they can browse by category, or they can search, or perhaps they've seen in some marketing material, we've sent them some special offers and they can click straight through. When customers go into items, they're able to see the details of them, they're able to see multiple images of them, and they're able to see the full instruction manuals for them as well as the price, the starting price of what they're looking for. System is really smart. We're really proud of it. It kind of links up. Other people who hired this would also hire this. And what that means is we're constantly working on the increasing the order value. So when customers have made their selections, they choose a start date, an end date, and then just like ordering groceries, you choose a delivery slot. And the reason we do it this way is it guarantees in about 99.9% of cases that the customer is at home. The checkout process is also really fast. The video you're seeing isn't actually sped up for demo purposes. This is actually the speed that our platform operates at. So when someone clicks on complete checkout, it books our specific inventory. It ensures that it's fully reserved. It reserves space with our logistics provider, and it goes through Stripe and Radar fraud protection all that quickly. And you can see how fast that order was. And you'll see the icon pop up at the top there showing the email confirmation that's already come in. As you would imagine, we are, of course, fully optimized for mobile web, desktop, and tablet, so everyone can access our service as and when they want to. And one of the things that we're really proud of is that customers tell us that they feel it's designed around them. So the packaging is reusable, it looks great, but we preempt what customers want. So what's coming up on your screen now is what we call the starter sheet. In every product, we provide this to customers as a quick start guide. This is our most complicated product. This is a self-inflating and heating hot tub, which are very popular. And this is the guide to get it set up. And customers really, really appreciate us doing this. They know that we do full product liability insurance, public liability insurance as standard, and they know that they're going to be getting stuff that has been properly maintained. We curate our own inventory. We either source it directly ourselves and have our own stock, or we work with partners who we trust. So for example, we work really closely with Karcher. We buy, for example, Karcher pressure washers off them for about £50, which would retail in B&Q or Woodies at £140. And we're hiring them out. And the reason they're doing that is they've seen where consumer behavior is changing, and everyone is now more about experiential rather than just the product itself. This is also why we're quite different to peer-to-peer. Peer-to-peer tends to be quite random. Customer that you hire off may have maintained their lawnmower perfectly before you hire it. Another may not, so you end up getting a dirty and smelly item being delivered to you. Consistency is the key, and that's why our customers have enjoyed the service that we do. In terms of what the customers think, if you just take a baseline e-commerce experience of doing a normal purchase online, let's be quite honest with you, when it comes to rental is usually less pleasant than just doing a straight up purchase. There's usually a need to drive to collect and return. You often have to bring ID and proof of address, you have to pay a deposit, and it also tends to be B2B focused, which means the price that you see is usually expat, and that really winds up customers. Feedback we've gotten all the time is we have high quality products like new. We allow them to choose the delivery and collection slots based on availability, and the browsing experience is really, really simple and clean. So in terms of the KPIs that we've achieved, you're looking at, we have more than 2,000 registered customers. They're actual customers, by the way, not just people who've registered with the system. They're actually people who've placed orders. Our customer acquisition cost is £20 sterling, and the average order value is almost £70. It's £68 gross and that's on the first, including the first order. So we do get a really good return. In terms of spend on marketing, it's about a 2.7 times return on every penny we spend on advertising we get back. So what is the plan for this round, and what is the plan for the future? So this round is to fund getting London to a very strong position, because the nature of the model means that our cash requirements going forward in the future for expansion will be minimal. So we have highlighted the UK and Germany here. The plan is to have the UK, the Irish and the German operations launched by the end of 2026. The Irish operation we're doing as a click and collect service along 5 locations along the M50. We do quite deep analysis of what cities are suitable in terms of density, in terms of car ownership, and in terms of rental propensity, to ensure that we're targeting the right places. It's a very high cash generative business. It means there's minimal dilution. One of our advisors, who we'll come to on the next slide, has already had very early talks about debt financing going forward, and we believe that it will minimize equity dilution in the future. So in terms of what that means in money terms, we're expecting, if we do all of these expansion plans, for annual revenues to be exceeding 15 million sterling by the end of 2027, with an EBITDA of 8 million in 2028. Just going out there, sorry, just a slight delay there. In terms of the people who are involved in the business, my background is originally media. It was when I was working for Liberty Global, actually, that I came up with the idea of WhyBuy 15 years ago. I've been playing with it since. Dennis Oyevo, who I think is on the call here as well, our Director of Operations. Dennis is the master of all things when it comes to stock management, logistics, and excellent at customer service as well, and constantly adjusting our processes to have a consumer in mind. David Bell is joining the board as a non-exec director. David is ex-Goldman Sachs and has more than 20 years of M&A experience, and is also a qualified solicitor. We're also very lucky to have 2 people acting as advisors to the board. Greg Lawless, who exited Arena PLC in 2021, has his knowledge of B2B rental in particular has been fantastic for us. And also Tim Taylor, who I knew from his days in Packed Coffee and Abel & Co. And Tim is now the global CFO of Live Golf. So he is currently purchasing the PGA, which is not something that a lot of us are able to say. So in terms of the corporate information, the platform will be revenue generating within 4 weeks of us completing this round. The logistics, the warehousing, the staffing, all of that is in place right now. Ideally, 400k is to be raised, which would equate to 17.5% of equity. It's a single class of share in the business. There's no convertible loan notes or side arrangements, and we do have EIS and SEIS available for UK-based investors. The company has 0 debt. There's no debt in the company whatsoever, and our peak funding requirement to get to a cash flow positive position is 320k, and we believe that we'll be doing positive cash flow in the first 12 months. So in summary, this is commercially de-risked, it is revenue ready, and we believe we have the right balance of our aspirations versus walking before we run. I suppose I'll finish on a very simple concept. It's going to be weird in 2030 to own stuff that you hardly ever use. And what I mean by that is that it's going to be normal in the same way that you sit down on your couch and you select from thousands and tens of thousands of hours of content to watch. It's going to be normal in the future for you to get up in the morning, look out the window and decide, I'm ordering a lawnmower and a strimmer to take care of the garden now, and I'm going to have an egg barbecue arriving 3 hours after that. The on-demand lifestyle will become entirely normal, and we would really, really appreciate it if you joined us on that journey. If anyone wants to contact me directly, feel free, of course, and my LinkedIn is there as well if anybody would like to use it. But Chris went slightly over time there. Apologies.
No, not at all. Absolutely fine with that, Jamie. In fact, it was good timing altogether. So thanks very much indeed. Right, excellent. We've got a number of questions that are in. So Melissa, do you want to join in as well? And we can get, this is Melissa Power. He's head of our head of clients. And so some of you may have already spoken to Melissa over the years. But okay, first one in. Why is the marketing so effective at 2.7 times return, Jamie?
Okay, so actually one of the most effective ways of marketing, because of the nature of the brand, is that if you Googled, for example, I'm just going to keep using the same product examples. If you Googled a Karcher power washer, Google Store kindly lists, here's how much it will cost to buy at the top of your screen. And immediately under that, when we're doing our marketing, we go, why buy a Karcher power washer when you can rent one for 20 quid per day? And immediately seeing that for customers in front of them, that's the most effective marketing tool we have. We also do an awful lot of referral, Chris, for new customers coming in, and our repeat rates tend to be very good as well. So you're looking at about we would have a target of about £180 per year in terms of annual revenue per customer. As people realize the range of products we have, they start going for more and more categories.
Okay, Jamie. Hi, Jamie. Next question is logistics. Who does that for you?
Yeah, so we have a partnership. We used to do logistics ourselves, and it was very difficult, particularly coming out of COVID. So that was the point at which we paused everything. And we were very lucky that we have a relationship with a company called Flower Station, who are one of the largest flower distribution companies in the UK. And it just so happens that the majority of our needs and their needs overlap in such a way that their vans are empty when we need vans and things. So they can do up to 3,000 orders a month for us at a fixed price that we pass straight through to the consumer. They're also doing our warehousing. And just to put it in context, we need to get to about 750 orders per month to be break even. They can do up to 3,000 a month for us before they run out of capacity.
Okay, very good. Why such a conservative expansion plan with what looks like a good CAC ratio? If you see room to boost the average order amount, why not raise the CAC to grow faster?
Yeah, absolutely. I think
sorry, CAC, just a customer acquisition cost for anybody who is unaware of that.
Customer acquisition cost is falling. And to be quite honest, it's a completely reasonable question, and it's one that I get asked regularly. And it's trying to get that balance in the middle of kind of, do you want to look too ambitious? Do you want to look unambitious? And we're trying to get that balance to ensure that we can but to make sure that we can do this at a reasonable speed. I know that on the call at the moment are people who advise me. Certainly David Bell is on the call, and I think Dennis and Greg, who you saw on previous slides, are on the call as well. And it's been a long conversation. We believe that getting this bedded down with this concept is the correct speed to go at. If we find ourselves that we can go at a faster speed and we can satisfy ourselves, we can do it properly, we will 100% do that. But I would prefer to have the absolute bedrock and groundwork of this done much more effectively. Also, I think that in the current market and the current economic environment, I think having crazy high valuations is slightly insulting to people. We are very much a company that plays into the cost of living crisis as an opportunity in a very nice way. But I think that trying to kind of up valuations on a whim to expand aggressively is foolish in the current environment.
Very good.
Okay, thanks, Jamie. Jamie, another question is there a lot of money tied up in stock in WhyBuy?
So we have about 140 grand's worth of stock at the moment, which sounds like loads, but in actuality, no. So we have an awful lot of supply arrangements. So we buy from Karcher at about 60 to 70% off retail prices. And we tend to be profitable on them within 2 hires. And you're talking about some of our material, like rug doctors, for example, which have water running through them. So I'm using that as an example because they're really, really dirty. Some of those have been hired out 35, 40 times and are still looking as good as new. So the plan is in the long run, though, and this refers slightly back to your previous question as well, Chris, is that the plan is in the future that we won't actually own any stock. We'll be a marketplace. In the same way that when you order a hamburger off Deliveroo, it's not a Deliveroo team who are making that hamburger, it's the restaurant who are making it. That's going to be us in the future. But for now, I want to separate and put distance between us and peer-to-peer because the repeat rates are so poor.
Very good. Okay. You might incidentally just stop sharing your screen so we can see you in a bit bigger size. Next
No
question.
one's ever asked me to do that, Chris.
Thanks very much. So Dublin is going to be click and collect and not delivery. Why is this model different from the London one at the moment?
Okay, so a couple of different reasons. The first one is that car ownership in Dublin is just way higher than European averages. The second thing is that it is very easy for us to add delivery and collection later. If it is, it's simply we find a partner. We talk to a few people, but the prices are very high. To be quite honest with you, it's a cost thing. If customers are happy, but you are looking at maybe 13 to 15 euro each way. So you're adding 30 euro to an order, which isn't a lot if your order value is 300, 400, 500 quid. But on the average order values that we're expecting, which are kind of between 70 and 100 euro, you can't have 30% as delivery and collection costs. So we're going to start with click and collect. And if we find ourselves in the lovely scenario that demand is exceptionally high for delivery, we're obviously not going to we're not going to avoid it.
Sure.
Jamie, another question is, how do you differ from traditional hire companies?
I'd say the biggest one is that we start with the consumer in mind. So we start off from the point of view of you want this to be easy. Traditionally, hire companies show you a price which is X VAT, and it's for if you got it at 12 o'clock on a random Tuesday, and it tends to be quite consumer unfriendly. It also tends to be that more B2B focused, so it tends to be hardware and tools at an industrial level. To be honest with you, Melissa, that's the main differentiator. But to be honest with you, what we try and do is we try and make it so gloriously simple that people come back for more.
Okay, time for one more question. What is the exit strategy, please, Jamie? So how are investors who might invest in the business, well, how are they going to get their money? What do you see as exiting the business?
Yes, I will avoid giving the bland entrepreneur ones of there's going to be an IPO in a few years' time, because while that is always the dream, it's not necessarily a strategy. From talking to different people, I think the logical exit here is actually going to be one of the larger bricks and mortar retailers who are looking to have more reasons for customers walking into their shops. It really accelerated in previous years and then slowed down again around the pandemic. But if you look at Sainsbury's taking over Argos, for example, or you look at what's happening with John Lewis at the moment, you're going to see that it's going to be a thing where the large retailers are thinking, God, if we could get a WhyBuy click and collect at the back of every store, that makes sense for us. We've done a lot of analysis with Tesco, by the way, which I won't bore you with now, but we had a small store with them for about 6 months and it went really well. But that's or an IPO.
Or an IPO. Very good. Okay, Jamie, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much indeed. We've run out of time and I do want to get on to the next business. So thank you very much. Of course, if anybody wants to ask Jamie a question, they can do so by dropping us a line and we can forward it through to him. If indeed anyone wants to have a more in-depth Zoom call, we're happy to arrange a one-on-one call with Jamie at any stage as well. So please do get in touch with either myself or Melissa, and we can arrange that as well. So right, Jamie, thank you very much indeed. Okay, now we'll go on to our second business, which is, of course, ArrayPatch. So, Walid, if you are there, can you please start your camera and we can actually be introduced to you. This is Dr. Walid Faisal. Walid is the CEO of a company called ArrayPatch, and will be going onto the platform very, very soon. So just to give you a quick flavour of what the business is, I know Walid will cover a little bit of this, but ArrayPatch is a spin out of UCC, University College Cork, where Walid has been a postdoctoral researcher for almost 15 years now. In that time, he's been working on a project that Enterprise Ireland has funded through its innovation programme and its commercialisation fund for microneedles and the delivery of drugs through microneedles. And Walid will go into that in a lot more detail in a second. This development is the technology behind the business now that is now spun out. Walid himself has a PhD in pharmaceutical sciences and drug formulation as well. And so, Walid, with that introduction, I'll hand it over to you. If you'd like to start your presentation, we can get straight into it. Again, if anybody wants any questions asked, please put them into the Q&A, and we can ask those in a second. So, Walid, over to you, and I'll see you in a few minutes.
Okay, thanks, Chris. So, ArrayPatch, and in ArrayPatch, our mission is to provide the healthcare professionals with superior treatment options and improve the patient outcome. And this will be centered around our microneedle dissolvable technology, DermApp, which is a patent technology. So 1 in 4 people can be affected with needle fungal infection at any given time. And this ratio can go up to 1 in 2 if the person is above 60 or diabetics. This is a quotation from the British Association of Dermatologists. And the nail fungal infection, or onychomycosis, is a disease which affects the nails, the fingernails or toenails, and caused by the same fungus which causes athlete's foot. Dermatologists are frustrated with the current treatment because it takes up to 1 year, and only 1 out of 3 show cure response. The patients are also not happy with the current treatment because coming with a severe liver toxicity. The market size of fungal treatment was 4.7 billion euro in 2022, and it will surpass 6.2 billion in 2027 with a growth rate of 5.6%. North America and Europe are expected to constitute 60% of this market, which is 3.7 billion euro, which the topical treatment are expected to have 40% of the market, which is 1.4 billion euro. At launch and the first year, we are targeting 1% of this market, which is about 14 million euro. And at year 10, our aim to reach to 127 million sale, which is our obtainable market. In the last 2 years, and during our customer discovery journey, we interviewed and surveyed more than 100 stakeholders from different areas around the world, including the end user, patients, clinicians, key opinion leaders, industrial key opinion leaders, and also manufacturing partners. And they all confirmed the unmet clinical need in the market. Just listening to what they said, the end users, the patients, they said they prefer to use nail paint and ointment for 2 years, but not using the tablets because of the side effects. The clinicians, they said that the prevalence of fungal skin condition in Europe is the highest around the world, which is 8.9%. Industrial key opinion leaders, they mentioned that the regulatory approval of our microneedle product is very easy and simple way because we don't use complicated polymers, and also we work with generic medicines. The manufacturing partner, they said that the patient will happy to pay more for a localized treatment with little side effects. So our solution, DermApp. DermApp is a pain-free microneedle patch in the size of a small coins. When it is applied to the skin, it penetrates the outer layer of the skin and start to dissolve and release the medication in the skin at high concentration to kill the fungi. Our DermApp technology is a patent technology. We have our first patent now in nationalization phase in 2020, and now we have a second patent also in the IDF. Technically, we are post the proof of concept. We have all our preclinical work done, and now we have our clinical program submitted to the European Medicine Agency. For the manufacturing, we are in scaling up the manufacturing now with a company in Germany called Hofliger. And DermApp is a platform technology, which means it has a multiple of use. And our first route of the market are for the treatment of the nail fungal infection, but we also have another 3 molecules in the pipeline, one for the skin cancer, the second in psoriasis, and the third one for the hormone replacement therapy. We are helping the dermatologist and dermatological company with innovative and more better treatment for nail fungal infections. And unlike the topical and oral treatment in the market now, our product Dermap is improving the patient outcome, reducing the treatment time, and most important is non-toxic, which means it gives a better patient compliance. Our business plan is ArrayPatch is a preclinical and pre-revenue company, and we're going to enter the market and start commercialization by 2029. We place our product as a prescription product under our own name, and we use established distribution channels for the sale. As a short-term strategy, we'll outsource the manufacturing with a CMO, which is Haro Hofliger in Germany, and also as another commercialization opportunity will be open for any license for our platform technology or partnership with pharma company. We identified our competitor in the market, including Lamisil cream, Lamisil tablet, and Sporanox capsules. And our preclinical data showed that our Dermap product at only 1/10 of the dose, they can reach more than 140 times drug concentration in the skin, which means reducing the treatment time and much effective treatment. We also have less than 7% of the drug in the blood, which can translate it to a very low side effects. In addition to our technical team, the executive team working in this study, including myself as a CEO and founder, I have more than 19 years as a formulation scientist, more than 4 years in project manager, and also I work as a quality assurance scientist at Zolas Pharmaceuticals. We have Ryan Pamsi, our COO. Ryan has more than 10 years in microneedle development and commercialization, with more than 5 years in project management and product development. We have Mark Litvich as a business development. Mark is a serial entrepreneur. He's a founder and co-founder in 4 pharmaceutical companies. In our non-executive team, we have a director, Dennis McDage, who is a technical director at Zolas Pharmaceuticals with more than 20 years in development and quality control. And he represents our investors of Zolas Pharmaceuticals. We also have our acting chairman, Terry Sullivan. He's a serial entrepreneur and director in many other companies and chairman, and he's director at Indigo Rock Marine. As an advisory team, we have a commercial strategy toward Laboda. He's more than 15 years in industry experience, and he's the vice president and head of clinical development at Leo Pharma in Denmark and Southeast. We have 2 clinical advisors, one for US, Mary McGonagall, which is going to looking after our clinical trial in USA. And we have Alan Irvin, he's a professor in dermatology in Trinity, and he will be the chief investigator of our clinical trials in Europe. Scientific advisor, we have Professor Abina Creed. Abina is a professor of pharmaceutics in UCC with more than 6 years in industrial and R&D experience and more than 13 years in microneedle area. We have Stephen Leggett, our regulatory advisor. He's more than 10 years in regulation and development consultant, and he's a director of regulatory affairs at Icon Limited. So in last 4 years, we successfully secured a non-diluted fund of more than 1.3 million euro from Enterprise Island and from Horizon 2020. And now we're looking for an equity raise of 4 million euro as a seed fund. And we'll use this money to get the scientific approval for the clinical trial, finalize our phase 1 clinical trial, and also scaling up our production and advance our pipeline molecules. We successfully secured more than 50% of this fund from Zolas, Enterprise Island, angel investors, and Corkbank. And now we have 500,000 euro as equity capital available to Spark investors. And the good news that at ArrayPatch, we are eligible for the EIS with 50% tax rebate, which means every investors will get investing 1,000 euro will only cost him 500 euro. Our pre-money valuation is 10 million, which based in a comparative analysis using deals and exits for other companies which operating in the dermatology therapies area. Our potential exit value in 2028 will be between 200 and 250 million euro, and it will be only for the first application product. So it will be only for the first products. As successful of phase 2-3 trials in 2028, we could attract early global pharma company acquisition or collaboration and could secure more than 10 times return for Spark investors. Our success story in 2022, we are the Innovation of the Year from Pharma Industry Award. We also win the first prize in the first startup treat in Portugal. We are the Commercial Activity of the Year in SSBC 2022. I also was chosen as one of the top 100 hospital and healthcare achievers in Ireland. In 23, we also the winner of iDate Ireland. And just last week, we are shortlisted for the top 10 in Big Idea Island Showcase. So why invest in ArrayPatch? First, the team. We have a highly experienced management team with world-class expertise in microneedle. The market of the fungal therapy is huge, which is annually more than 5 billion euro. The patent, we have a patent technology, our microneedle dissolvable DermApp, which improves the patient outcome, shorten the treatment period, and give better patient compliance with much lower toxicity side effects. We have a multiple of startup awards. We are offering more than 10 times exit return for the investors. And also, ArrayPatch is an enterprise island clients, and ArrayPatch is eligible for EIS qualified company with 50% rebate. So this is their map, and our mission is to give our patient healthy nail quickly and safely. Thank you.
Waleed, thank you very much indeed. Excellent presentation. So just to kind of give a quick recap, platform technology. So DermApp is just one product that you're developing. The other ones are going to be around skin cancer. You mentioned HRT and I think another process as well. Multiple PhD team behind Waleed, and of course that Horizon 2020 1.3 million euros worth of investment already is a significant element to that. So anyway, that's just a quick recap. So we've got a load of questions come in, so perhaps do you want to switch off your presentation and we can get to those questions. So first one, do we invest in one product or the company? And the answer to that is the company, but I'll let you expand on that, Waleed.
Okay, so as we mentioned, ArrayPatch has its platform technology. So the investor will invest in the company, in ArrayPatch. And then when we exit, the first exit it will be only for one product, which is DermApp. And then we'll go to the next cycle for the second product and the third one in the pipeline. So the investor will have this investment in the whole company with different products.
Very good. And those products, the patent already exists for DermApp, but the patents will be kind of done as time progresses with the HRT, with the
psoriasis
cancer, and so on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very
I have
good.
another question here. Can you explain the medical content and how it will outperform incumbents, e.g. Mycosan?
Okay, the medical content, you mean the product, the needle itself?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the area where our patent is, because our patent is around the manufacturing technology. So we are successfully produce microneedle of pure medication. So every needles we produce is made of pure medicines. And it's in a technology similar to the production of the glass. So the glass is made of silica or sand, and then you convert it to a glass. So the glass is made of pure sand. And we did something similar to the API, to the medicine. So we convert the medicine to a structure which is strong enough and sharp to produce needles. So we came up with the first product of microneedle of pure medicine. And that's our platform technology, and why we get the all interest about we can now deliver a very high doses for different medicines.
Just to, I was fortunate enough for Waleed to explain this, show this to me the other day. So the microneedles come in a small patch that just go under the nail bed of the nail, and these microneedles are so small that there's a whole array of them, hence the name of the ArrayPatch. So there's, I don't know, how many needles are on there, Waleed?
Well, we can produce up to 1,000 needles, but the one we're using now for the dose is only 200. But you can
Okay,
use,
so you have
change
100
the size of it.
tiny needles that only just go below the skin, which don't touch any nerve ending, so it doesn't actually, it's not painful to put it on, but of course that delivers the drug to the right to the process, to the infected area. Anyway,
And
yes,
yeah.
there we go. That's the packaging there.
Let me just remove the infect. Okay, make it none. Just make it. So can you see the product itself?
Yeah, we can see that there.
Okay, and then when you open it, we have the our microneedles. So it's our microneedles here. This is the patch.
And it's just like putting a plaster on your finger.
Yeah, and then when you open it, you get your. This is how it looks, our patch. And you can see the needle at the center. It's very tiny dots. It's hard to see. It's less than 0.5 millimeter.
Okay.
Okay, and then we apply it on the skin and we wrap it around the thing. That's it.
Very good. Okay, next question, Ed. Are you planning FDA approval? I think you actually went into that, but just to expand on the approval process, if you can, please,
Yeah.
lead.
And now it's the ArrayPatch, the DIRMAP is approved. We work now with the EMA approval, and we working also in parallel to the FDA approval. For the EMA, it's approved as a medicine product, and for FDA, it's a combination, it's a hybrid product. So it's a combination between medicine and medical device.
Okay, the next question, which is kind of ties into that, is a little bit, is ArrayPatch going to be prescription or an over-the-counter product?
It's basically, you know, when you start in Europe, it will be a prescription product, meaning of prescription. So it could be prescribed by the GP or dermatologist. It also could be a pharmacy prescription. And I think for next year, the podiatrist also will have the right to prescribe it in Ireland and UK. In US, it will start as a prescription, but because we use a very small dose, only 4 milligram, there is a big chance to be also an OTC product.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Waleed. Have the initial clinical studies been published in a journal at all?
No, not yet. We submit our clinical trial protocol to the EMA. So no result come. All what published now is our preclinical data.
Okay,
It's
very
published
good.
last summer.
Okay, and another question is, what will be the cost of DIRMAP?
Okay, the cost of DIRMAP, for the cost of production, cost of goods is about 40 euro. Then we'll sell for the sale distributor for 70 euro, and they will sell it in the market at a price of 152, which is the average price in the market.
Okay. Right, we haven't got time for many more, so I'll just one or two more. First, can you explain how your microneedle technology is different from other microneedle technologies? And second, can you explain the difference between ArrayPatch and DIRMAP, in which I'd be investing? Well, ArrayPatch is the company, DIRMAP is the product, and you're investing in ArrayPatch, the limited company. So that's the answer to the second one. But explain how the microneedle technology is different, please, Waleed.
Yeah, as we mentioned, you know, the microneedle, what we use here, DIRMAP, is made of pure medicine. That's make it different because it's just the medicine. So every needle is 100% drug. There is no solvent, there is no polymers, there's no excipients. And that's make it different from any other products we're trying to make because they are limited with how much dose they can load in every microneedle. But we are reach the maximum loading. And also for our clinical trials, it's simple clinical trial because only we have API, the medicine. Any other products, they have to go a long clinical trial because they're using excipients and solvents.
Okay.
Okay.
When do you expect, Waleed, to expect investors to get the 10 times return? What's the time frame?
This will be 28 when you reach the phase 2 trials. You will get the efficacy data from the phase 2-3. Then in most of, or all the cases, big pharma will come for acquisition or collaboration. And that's the time where the investor will get their return. And actually it is 14 times, it's not 10. It's more than 10, it's 14 times.
All right, good. Excellent. Okay, Waleed, thank you very much. We'll leave it there. I think that's
Thank
loads
you.
of questions. There's a number more here that we just haven't got time to ask, but we'll answer those offline and publish them on the platform when Waleed's project or campaign is live. So anyway, guys, thank you very much indeed. We've heard from two very strong businesses, which I think you'll agree are worth serious investment, serious consideration for investment at least. Anyway, and if you'd like to have a follow-on meeting with either Jamie, thank you very much for coming back there, Jamie, and Waleed, we'd be delighted to facilitate that for you. So thank you very much. Jamie is live on the site at the moment. Waleed will be going live very shortly. And would love to see you on there investing if you thought it was worthwhile. So thank you very much indeed, and we'll see you all again very soon. Cheers now.